from the News Channel 5 network, this is SportsLine.
Good evening, Nashville. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of SportsLine. Yours truly, Jon Burton, with you for the next hour. Feels like it's been forever since we've gotten together for the Wednesday extravaganza. That's summertime for you, getting ready for football season, but we are here. Great to be back with you on a Wednesday night. I'm going to talk a lot of Titans tonight, so any Titans issues or questions you have, you're more than welcome to give us a call at 737-7767. You can tweet me at NC5_Jon Burton or use the hashtag SportsLine. Love to hear from you tonight. Really want to hear from the Titans fans. We've got a preseason game in the books now. I want to know what you saw on Saturday night against the Jets, what you liked, what you didn't like, what are you concerned about going forward as we get ready for the season. So preseason game number 1 in the books, a rather ugly 7-3 loss to the New York Jets up at MetLife Stadium on Saturday. First chance that we've had a chance to really chop it up about that game, what you saw. So that is on the table for you tonight as well. Coming up in the next segment, we're going to talk with Jason Wolf, Titans beat writer for the Tennessean, as we talk about what we saw today. The Titans and the Carolina Panthers holding a joint scrimmage, a joint practice today at St. Thomas Sports Park. Of course, the two teams are going to meet on Saturday afternoon at Nissan Stadium for preseason game number 2. Kickoff for that game just after 2 o'clock, by the way. So make your plans accordingly. But I was there this morning, saw all 2 hours of the practice, about hour 45 minutes, 2 hours. I thought it was some good work by the Titans against a very good, very physical Carolina Panthers football team, a team that has a chip on their shoulder heading into the 2017 season. Of course, 2 years ago, they made it all the way to the Super Bowl before losing to Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. I almost said John Elway and the Broncos, but of course, John Elway is the vice president of football operations, so in a way, they did kind of lose to John Elway. But of course, Peyton Manning in his last game, beating the Carolina Panthers, not a good day for Cam Newton. A subpar 6-10 season last year, did not make the playoffs. This is a team that's hungry and ready to get back to the postseason this year. And, you know, with Ron Rivera as their head coach, they're a very physical football team, and the Titans are priding themselves on being a very physical football team. I saw some good things out there from both teams today. Very physical practice. The pads were popping. So we'll get Jason Wolf's insight as to what he saw coming up in our next segment. The biggest thing that I took away from it was how professional both teams were. You know, you get these joint practices between two teams during training camp, and things tend to get heated. We usually see a lot of fights, a lot of dust-ups, a lot of skirmishes. None of that today. Now, the two teams will do it again tomorrow morning at St. Thomas Sports Park. I believe that practice is also open to the public, as was today's. You like the fact that both teams were very professional in their approach. Again, a very physical practice, a very intense practice under muggy conditions at St. Thomas Sports Park, but no fights, no dust-ups. Both teams seem to have a healthy amount of respect for each other. And again, one more practice tomorrow between the Titans and the Panthers, and they'll play the preseason game on Saturday afternoon. One of the more entertaining elements of today's practice was watching the wide receivers in their one-on-one drills with the defensive backs. A number of big plays by the Titans wide receivers today. Eric Decker, who continues to have a great camp. Remember, this guy was signed right before the start of training camp. Really had a solid practice today, made some big plays down the field in the one-on-one passing drills against the Carolina Panthers defensive backs. Also, Rashard Matthews with a good game, good day of practice today. He made some plays. DeMarco Murray is back full go after missing pretty much all of last week with a tender hamstring. He is back. He is looking as good as ever, so that's certainly a good sign for the Tennessee Titans as they get ready for preseason game number 2. Head coach Mike Mularkey strongly hinting that DeMarco Murray will get a good amount of work this Saturday in preseason game number 2 against Carolina. So good to have the Titans workhorse running back up and running. Still no Corey Davis in practice today. The Titans #1 draft pick, the #5 pick overall out of Western Michigan, the wide receiver. Still dealing with his hamstring issue. He, of course, is week to week. He did not practice today. Dennis Kelly, the valuable backup lineman of the Tennessee Titans, left the field today with some heat-related issues, and head coach Mike Mularkey saying also afterwards that the aforementioned Eric Decker dealing with a bit of a ankle tweak or mild ankle sprain at practice today. Coach Malarkey taking him out of practice a little early, says he doesn't believe it to be serious. Actually, Decker tried to go back out onto the field in practice, but Coach Malarkey decided to keep him out for the rest of practice. So, so far so good on the injury front. But again, Corey Davis missing valuable time right now with that tender ankle, or that tender hamstring, excuse me, as we go into another week of him missing training camp practices. So that's pretty much what went on today at practice with the Carolina Panthers. Of course, again, these two teams will hook up tomorrow morning for another joint practice, and then of course, the preseason game Saturday afternoon at Nissan Stadium, kickoff just after 2 o'clock. What have you seen? What do you like? What are you not liking from the Tennessee Titans? There are a couple ways to join the show. Would love to hear from Titans fans tonight. The number to call is 737-7767. We have the wonderful Courtney Smith, our producer, taking your phone calls. Please be nice to Courtney when you call, and she screens your calls. We always ask you to be nice to her. And we would love to get your thoughts on the air, and also you can tweet me at NC5_Jon Burton. Again, Jason Wolf, next segment. Right now, we're going to hear from the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Malarkey, after today's joint practice with the Panthers.
Is it more individual?
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. You know, Coach LeBeau said they had a good session over on that other field. Obviously, I won't be able to know anything until I see it, but it's hard to see everything when you do these split practices. But I know we got a lot of work done. I thought it was really well coordinated with both staffs, and you know, I think I'm glad we did what we did. Sorry for the delay, but I think it worked out much better than if we had to go inside.
What stood out from what you saw?
Just good competition. It was good work. I mean, obviously, I'm on the offensive side of the field and working against a different defense, a different scheme. We've been going against each other since April, the same 3-4 scheme, and it was good work. A lot of good stuff to teach from today.
And did you have? It seemed like you guys handled themselves pretty well as far as no spill.
Yeah, there was.
Were they warned, or is that how you handle stuff like that?
I don't want to say they were warned. You know, we just talked about it. We're out here to get better and work against each other. We want to stay away from conflict and things that you can't do in games. Why do them out here? Why waste the energy? You know, we talked, both Ron and I talked to the teams about it, and it was very clean, and that's what we want to get tomorrow.
You mentioned guys going up against the same guys during camp. Obviously, you're getting a chance to go up against different competitions. What did you see from your wide receivers today?
It was definitely competitive in the one-on-one. There would have been a lot of flags on both sides, at least on our field. It was pretty physical. It was a physical practice, I thought, on both sides. Probably the hottest day we've had since we've been here, since the start. So that was good to get that. Let guys gauge where they are, you know, physically, not just mentally, but physically as well.
They're a team that.
Do any game plan or anything like that, but in working against a 4-3, how much does that have to change what the offensive line wants to do? That sort of thing.
There's some change. There's definitely change. Yeah, there's a couple different schemes, some different line calls. Nothing drastic, but it is different. I mean, just the combination blocks are different. Tight ends, you know, it's not just the lines, the tight ends, the backs, where they fit on specific plays. So it's good for us.
Thank you, DeMarco.
Good. I mean, I think he's still kind of testing it a little bit, but I think he's progressed pretty well. I'm anticipating him playing. If he makes it, I'll see how he is after getting in the cold tub and getting some treatment.
How funny. Had a nice run today. I know that he appears to be behind Akeem Judd in the pecking order now. What are you seeing out here?
I don't know if there's a true pecking order. They've had reps with twos and both with the threes. He did some good things out here. You know, it was good to see in a team environment. You know, that was like a simulated drive similar to the scrimmage. He did some good things, even in protection.
Sorry,
Sure.
Cam didn't do anything against your guys. How much are you know, is that disappointing? Would you like to be tested by him these 2 days?
No, I think we're getting good work over there. I mean, obviously, you'd like to have what he brings with the ability to run the ball like Marcus. That's some of the things you wish you could get. But no, it's not going to change. We may have to face, you know, a non-starter during the season. May have to adjust how we do things. It's no different in this scrimmage or in this practice.
Jon Brown's making plays against the Jets out here today. I mean, is he among the top rookies you're pleased with?
I think he's been I think he has stood out since he's been in the OTAs and for sure training camp. He quietly goes about his business, but he's always around the football, and that's been pretty consistent.
Injuries, any Kelly looked like he came off?
Kelly, more heat. They ran a lot of plays. The drive was it was designed to go 6 plays. If you got it inside the 25, if the drive could continue, and it did, and it went a lot of plays. So the heat caught up to him a little bit. Decker had a little bit of a twisted ankle on one-on-one, so we took him out of the drills. Again, I don't know the extent. I don't think it's serious. He tried to go back in there, but pretty minimal for the type of practice and how physical it was.
Having come off the Jets opener in the preseason, how good was it for you guys to relatively quickly get back out here against
it was good. I mean, they came back out Monday night, and we had a practice just like this. So we've gotten some good work since Saturday, and we needed it, especially offensively.
More game planning this week for the Panthers in the Jets?
A little bit more, just because it's different front. You gotta have a plan for their defensive scheme, but not like we're gonna game plan when we get going. No, I don't think I'm sure they're the same way.
All right, head coach Mike Mularkey speaking to the media after today's joint practice with the Titans and the Carolina Panthers over at St. Thomas Sports Park. At practice finally getting going at about 10:15 this morning. Had a bit of a weather delay, but both teams able to get some good work in. Coming up later in the show, we'll hear from Panthers head coach Ron Rivera, get his thoughts on what he saw out there today. Again, the two teams will practice again tomorrow morning, scheduled for 9:15. And it is open to the public, so if you've got some free time tomorrow, you want to go check out a couple of teams scrimmage, well, not really scrimmage against each other, but practice against each other. Full pads, full go. That is available for you tomorrow at St. Thomas Sports Park. Again, after our first break, we're going to hear from Jason Wolf of the Tennessean to get his thoughts on what he saw today and who might be standing out that maybe we're not talking about at training camp. And actually tomorrow, believe it or not, is the final training camp practice for the Tennessee Titans. Now, of course, they'll still practice and get ready for their remaining 3 preseason games. But as far as the structure of training camp in terms of players being sequestered and the curfew and all that kind of stuff, tomorrow's actually the last day. So training camp has certainly flown by. They got started right at the end of July, beginning of August. So a little over 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks worth of training camp, and now that is coming to a close for the Two-Tone Blue. You heard Mike Mularkey mention one thing, how valuable these practices are, especially for his offense going up against a 3-4 defensive alignment, which Carolina Panthers do. Of course, very few teams these days in the NFL have a base 3-4 alignment, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. A team they'll be facing later on this season on a Thursday night game, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, they are a 3-4 team, so it'll give them good work against that kind of defensive front, not only today, tomorrow, and Saturday, but also for later on in the season. So something to keep an eye on there. All right, time for our first break. When we come back, Jason Wolf of the Tennessean is going to join us. We'll get his thoughts on what he saw today at joint practice, what he expects to see tomorrow, and what he expects to see Saturday afternoon when the Panthers and Titans play a preseason game at Nissan Stadium. Stay with us. Your phone calls are welcome as well, 737-7767. It's Jon Burton. Glad to be back with you on the Wednesday extravaganza here on SportsLine on News Channel 5+. Stay with us. We're right back after this.